What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you the video you have requested like crazy, and that is the test hand combo video for the Red Eyes Primite profile I showed you all the other day. Now, quite like the Dark Magician version, I'm going to start the video off with a very basic combo so you can see how the deck operates with the least amount of investment in the deck, and you know what kind of route of play you're going to be looking to try and make. And then I'll do a randomized test hand going first and a randomized test hand going second, so you can kind of see how the deck meshes together and works. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So the starting 2-card combo that you're going to want to be looking for is going to be specifically your Primite Lordy Lord plus access to your Black Metal Dragon. Now, the reason you need the Black Metal Dragon is it is that additional monster onto the board, but as long as you can get a normal summon to the board, you'll still be able to get like the ideal outcome. So you're going to activate the Lordy Lord, you're going to use this effect to grab you the Raw. You'll be activating the Raw straight away before you put a monster on the board so you can get a Red Eyes directly from the deck. You'll then normal summon down the Black Metal, and the reason that you're going to use Black Metal and Red Eyes to make your spheres is so that you can play under Nibiru as well. You'll be able to trigger the Black Metal Dragon effect, and this is going to allow you to add one of two options. If you want to extend further because you're going aggressive, you'll actually go directly for your Red Eyes Darkness Metal. But because we're going to go defensively and play under Nibiru, we're going to go for the Red Eyes Black Full Metal. You'll reveal this in the hand. This will then put itself back into the deck and allow you to set the Max Metal Morph from the deck. And then you're going to activate the second effect of Lordy Lord to summon you a Red Eyes from the deck. There we go. So what you're going to do is you're going to pass your opponent's turn. So this is going over to our opponent's turn. Keep that in mind, very important. During our opponent's turn, we're going to activate the Max Metal Morph. We're going to tribute off the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and this will then allow us to summon out your Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. Now, of course, you could, after you've done Hieratic Seals and bring out a level 5 or higher dragon, tribute that monster off instead, leaving Red Eyes on the board, or if you don't want to activate the second effect of Lordy Lord, also leaving that Red Eyes out of the equation, but it means your opponent has more to play through. Whereas if you're doing all this early, what this gives you is this gives you the ability of Red Eyes Black Full Metal, can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by spell and monster effects, and then on top of that as well, it's 3800 base, and it has the Omni Negate capabilities. So what that means is when you activate the Hieratic Seals and your opponent tries to interact with it, you can negate it off the Black Full Metal. Then of course off the Tribute effect, the card that you'll probably want to go for will be a Magnamute, so you can search out a follow-up for the next turn, and again you can protect this with the Red Eyes Black Full Metal. You also need to remember that when they conduct a normal summon, you can use Primite Raw to get rid of it, as long as it is less than 2400 attack, which I can't imagine many normal summon monsters are going to have that capability. So what you're getting here is you're getting a banish, you're getting a negation, and you're also getting a banish off of the back of, you're getting a bounce, a banish, and a negation off the back of the Red Eyes Full Metal. And then if the card that you summon out with the Hieratic Seal is either a stun card or a interactive card, so something like the, I think it's like the Transcendent Dragon, the one that pops cards, then of course you can interact with your opponent even further. But the idea is you feel that the banish, the bounce, and the negate is going to be enough so that when you go for Magnamute, you get a follow-up, and then that can either be a Bestial to give you that extension onto the board, or of course it can be a very simple Black Metal Dragon, so you can start this combo all over again, but instead you go for your Red Eyes Darkness, and you're just going to add the aggression on the board to finish the duel off. So that's pretty much it for the baseline combo. It's just something very, very simple to show you what you can do playing under Nibiru, and then also kind of playing around certain types of hand traps as well, while setting you up a very decent and interactive board to deal with your opponent. So, with all of that out of the way, now what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle up and I'm going to show you a randomized test hand so you can see how this deck operates going first, and then we'll do a randomized test hand going second. Now, the Dear Servant is going to put in a bit of work when you do see it, or if you do see it, because imagine in that combo that I showed you at the start, if that became a 3-card combo and you added the Dear Servant to it, you would have everything that I just showed you plus a Winder Lock. And your only special summon, once you put Winder in action, will be off of the back of the Hieratic Seals. So you just be adding even more to your opponent that they just can't deal with. So after a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the hard open of Schism is a bit annoying, so is the Red Eyes Black Dragon, but just with this baseline play, you still got an okay interaction. Like ideally, these two cards would be something else, but just because you've opened up the Dear Servant, you're going to have a lot to play with. So you're going to activate the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, and what you're going to do here is, if you want to search out Red Eyes Fusion for your follow-up, you would actually send Red Eyes Black Dragon, but I'm going to be sending a Dark Magician so that I can search out a Magicalized Fusion, meaning that I can still summon during my opponent's turn. So now what you're going to do here is you're now going to be able to activate your Dear Servant. This, of course, will lock you out of the extra deck, but you don't really mind that. And then what you can do here is if you are playing it, you can send the Garura. And the reason you'd send that rather than the app clone is we're going to get a little bit greedy because we're going to want to get that randomized draw. Just because our hand isn't ideal, getting that randomized draw could actually be quite helpful for you. So this will give us direct access to Maximus. And we'll shuffle this up because on resolution, we will get a draw off of the back of the Garura. Wow, okay, pretty broken. So before we go any further, you can very easily go full metal, reveal itself, set your max metal morph from the deck. Obviously, the fact you're only playing this at 1, but I suppose the downside is because you're using the Deer Servant, even if we opened up black metal, you'd have to get it to the graveyard. Which shouldn't be that big of an issue, really. Oh, it has to go from field, big sad. Either way, so you reveal the black metal, sorry, that goes back into the deck. We get to set the max metal morph. And then what you do here is you use Maximus to banish the Garura. This will then allow you to use Maximus's effect. Now, obviously, keep in mind, if you are worried about what your opponent will send from their extra deck, then don't send Garura, just send App Cologne. Not that you need to, because it can't search out a Schism, but you just need to get a Shadow monster in the graveyard. Because of that Dark Magician, you'll also have the ability to preset stuff up. But because of this route of play, I've kind of gone down the route that I don't really mind what my opponent sends from their extra deck. So from our extra deck, what you're going to want to send is you're going to want to send your Albulanatus, which will search you out your fusion spell, and you're going to send your App Clone because you do need to get a Shadow monster into that graveyard. Obviously, in an ideal scenario, App Clone would search you out your Schism and you'd discard another card, but you do need to keep that in mind of how you're trying to play here. So then what you're going to be able to do is you're then going to be able to resolve the Albulanatus, or move to the end phase, set the Schism, sorry, move to the end phase, resolve the Albulanatus. This will then allow you to grab a fusion spell, and the card you're going to want to go for is the Magicalized Fusion. Now, you've got your 2 Darks in the graveyard, so you don't need to use the Dark Magician. You can actually use the Albulanatus. So then during your opponent's turn, what you've got to remember is this is a normal summon as well. So if you're able to get a Vanilla onto the board, your Imperial Dragon will get the job done for you. But you'll start off by activating the Max Metal Morph, tribute off the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. This will then give you direct access to a 3800 Red Eyes Full Metal, which just gives you a bit more protection from something like Schism. So if they try to like Cosmic Cyclone the Schism or anything, you can protect it. You'll then be able to activate the Schism, and keeping in mind that this can be banished from the graveyard to search out a Red Eyes Fusion, so you'll kind of want to keep that there if you can. So you'll banish the App Clone and you'll banish the Albulanatus, and this will then give you the Winder. There we go. So now your opponent is currently Winder locked, so if you do your Schism in response to them trying to special summon a Dark Monster, so let's say they try to go Bestial, for example, and you go, okay, cool, Schism, you'll then be able to summon down the Winder. The Winder can then send the Bestial because of the second effect of Schism. So what you're going to be able to do here is your opponent will not be able to do a lot. You've got an Omni-Negate here, you've got the lock off the back of Winder, they're going to have to pass, you're going to draw into turn, drawing into Ash Blossom's absolutely fine. Now, we've only got 1 summon, and we've still got Dark Magician in the graveyard, and we've still got Red Eyes that we can get rid of as well. So you banish fusion materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard, so I suppose you've got to get that Red Eye to the graveyard, which is quite annoying. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because technically what you can do is you can... Not that you want to. Do I need to is the other question. What I've got 38. This one can't attack directly. The irony is my Magicalized Fusion can actually get me a second Winder if I was to play a second Winder. So you've got that benefit as well. Other than that, you can very easily link these 2 off and go into something like an SP Little Knight. So let's say we got rid of these 2. Just to kind of clear up some space here. Get into an SP Little Knight. It depends if you want to be attacking directly or not. You don't have to go into an SP Little Knight. If you haven't got access to it, you just go into any generic link 2 you can get away with. The idea is we're just clearing Winder off. You're putting a Spellcaster in the graveyard, doing what you need to do. Schism is still active as well, so if you do play a second Winder, you can still activate Schism to do that job for you. I mean, the irony is you just want to get a normal monster to the board, and if you get a normal monster to the board, you're in a better position. I honestly don't think we needed to do much, really. I'm just trying to think of the best way of playing this. We've got a 28 here. I mean, I'm so tempted. I just want to tribute into a Red Eyes Black Dragon just to get a Dragoon for no reason other than getting a Dragoon to the board. It depends if my opponent's got monsters on the board. That's the real difference as well. If they've got a monster on the board, I can very easily just go, okay, cool, tribute both of these, Red Eyes. Not that you ever want to be doing that, but sometimes you have to. Activate Magicalized Fusion, banish Dark Magician, banish Red Eyes Black Dragon, get into a Dragoon, and if your opponent's got monsters on the board, you just go Dragoon, pop and burn, Dragoon, pop and burn, and then... like, between Dragoon and your Red Eyes Full Metal, you'll be pushing him for game. Like, that's how simplistic it is. But like I said, not ideal in that opening hand, but you still were able to present a board that was, you know, still threatening to your opponent. Like, the Winderlock is so easy to resolve in this deck, like in any deck that can play in the Deer Servant. It's actually really, really crazy. So it's one of my favourites, especially with I like the Nadir package, I like the Nadir, like Dogmaticas in general. And then when I'm able to utilise Shadows as well, which is really kind of cool, it's just the issue is taking up the space in the extra deck. It's something you do need to be aware of. So what we'll do is we'll shuffle up and then we'll go second this time as well, just to show you a bit more of an aggression. Now keeping in mind the deck is designed to be a little bit more defensively, but the idea is you still want to have the balance that my Nadir Servant, rather than sending an App Cologne, can send a Natis. My Maximus can send a Natis. I can search out fusion spells for follow-up. I can still get Winterlock even if I go for Natis instead of Garura draw. Like, you got loads of different options there. So we'll shuffle up, we'll go second. And we'll start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely dropping an Ash on our opponent. And 6, Imperm. Okay, so we'll Imperm and weaken our opponent's board a little bit more as well. You've actually got a fairly decent hand here, to be fair. So you can shotgun the Primite Raw early doors. Doesn't make much of a difference whether you do it early doors or not. The idea is you're just going to get red eyes to the board. It's a real shame, but I mean, especially on it in defense, which is the issue, because it's like it can't be as aggressive as you want it to be. But you still get to shotgun this early. You can then activate the Lordy Lord. This will then allow you to add a Primite card from deck to hand. So the one you're going to want to go for, because you've already gone through Raw, is you can go straight into your Imperial Dragon. And the reason you do that is you can actually banish your opponent's entire board. You've also got the ability to activate Red Eye's Insight, so lets you send a Red Eye's monster from hand or deck to the graveyard to add a Red Eye's spell or trap. So let's send... I suppose we can just send Red Eye's Black Dragon. I don't really... I mean, I'm going to be sending all my Red Eyes to the graveyard, which is fine. It could search me out a Red Eye's Fusion. Like, if I wanted to, I could just literally just shotgun this early doors, get Red Eye's Fusion, go into Dragoon and just try and pop everything off. But I want to show you what the Primites can do. I'm probably going to search... I mean, there's not ideal targets, to be honest. Let's search the Return of the Red Eyes, because this is obviously more control. You'll then be able to go, okay, cool, Red Eyes, Black Meteor. We'll send Dark Magician to the graveyard, so we've got that set ready to go. And the benefit of sending something like Dark Magician is that while Lordy Lord is on the board, you can only use each effect once per turn, but normal monsters and Primite monsters you control gain 300 attack for each normal monster with different names in the graveyard. So once I go, okay, cool, my normal summon will be the Primite Imperial Dragon, tributing off Red Eye's Black Dragon. This will then allow me to negate the effects of all face-on monsters my opponent card controls. So obviously I can do this first before I get into this. And then I banish all monsters my opponent controls with the same type and attribute as normal monsters in my graveyard. So dragons, dark, spellcasters, all go. And then this is going to be up by 600, so it's 32 base, and I can set the Return of the Red Eyes. Now, if I wanted to, I could have gone into a rank 7, but you've also got to remember, I have the second effect of Lordy Lord. Now that I've used the effect of Imperial Dragon, and it wasn't special summoned, it was normal summoned, Red Eye's Insights in the graveyard, I can now use the effect of Lordy Lord. Now I'm trying also, special and declare normal monster from the hand deck or graveyard. Why has it got to always be in defense? Why has it got to be defense? Either way, I get a Red Eyes to the board, which is fine, because what I can do once we get the Red Eyes from the deck, so you do you've cleared your opponent's board off, right? So you're attacking for 32, you're attacking for 2k, then you bring back Red Eyes, and then what you can do is, because this is a level 7, is you can overlay both of these. Keep in mind you've got 2 Red Eyes in the graveyard already. You can go into any rank 7 you want, but keep in mind you won't be able to use their effects because you've used Lordy Lord. But you'll be able to overlay into a Red Eyes Flare Metal, so that your opponent is just constantly going to keep burning. And then what you'll do is, during your opponent's turn, is you can detach this to bring back the first Red Eyes Black Dragon, while it's still got a material attached to it. And then Return of the Red Eyes, you control Red Eyes monster except Red Eyes Be Cheat. You target a normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. If this card in possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target a Red Eyes monster in your graveyard except Red Eyes Be Cheat and special summon it. So the idea is that you're able to then just go Return the Red Eyes, bring back a Red Eyes, and then you'll be able to finish off the game there. But keep in mind, you've already burnt them or attacked them for 56. So then that's limiting them to quick maths, was it 56? 4? Yeah, they can only activate 4 effects from that point of having Red Eyes Flare on the board onwards. And you've cleared off their entire board and negated it. So, I say clear off their entire board. It has to be Darks and Dragons. So, obviously it's going to be specific in certain matchups, but you kind of need to keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not saying this is going to topple the meta, like, keep it realistic, but I do think it's a very, very fun and powerful way of playing Red Eyes right now. I think the Primite engine is such a nice addition to a lot of vanilla-based decks, especially like Magic Key. So Magic Key is like the next one that I'm going to be working on. I don't think Blue Eyes need it. I feel Blue Eyes have a lot of effects that they want to be triggering, but I do feel that they can utilize it if you wanted to as well. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing an updated Magic Key profile as well. I'll be keeping you updated if I do update Dark Magician or Red Eyes with this, but I feel that this is like the ideal version right now, bar some minor tweaks that might add the Bestial engine in or might add the Cartesia off of Lulu Warlith. It just gives you a little bit more options and a bit more of a fusion play off of the back of the Dear Servant as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.